Hey there, this is the Penny on Your Thoughts podcast, and I am your host, Penny Chason. I'm a board-certified hypnotist, intuitive, and experiencer. This podcast is about tapping into your subconscious to create a more aligned and abundant life. By leveraging our subconscious, we can master our thoughts, frequency, and vibration. Fusing the conscious, subconscious, and our consciousness is the science of expansion and soul satisfaction. Each week, I'll share in-depth interviews or solo episodes. This podcast was created to share how you have the power to create infinite potential within you. It's my intention that you find this podcast empowering, inspiring, and full of possibility. Now grab your favorite beverage and let's go. Are you ready to achieve your soul connection? So many people today are striving to know more about the meaning of life and to really overcome that restless feeling, that feeling that maybe something is missing in life. And I want to share with you that we all have that soul connection. We are our soul. But sometimes the way that we live our life is based upon what we've been taught and told that life is meant to be. And I want to give you a powerful tool today that will help you to begin realizing this soul connection. I don't know if you've ever noticed that we can get excited about something. We can get excited about something. We can commit to something. Maybe it's back when we went to college, we were excited about what we were going to do. We were excited about the possibility in our life. But then later we look back and it's like, gosh, that really wasn't what I wanted. I got excited about doing this because everyone else around me was excited for me to do it. And we don't even realize in that moment that all those years ago, we had given away our personal power, because chances are at that time, you didn't even know what your personal power was. And instead of following your intuition or your instincts or the thing that you wanted to do more than anything, you did what was told to you was the right thing to do to create happiness in your life, to have a secure financial situation, to be able to have good schools for your kids, or live in a nice neighborhood, or drive a nice car, whatever it may be. So you didn't realize in that moment you gave away that personal power. It's through a journey of self-awareness that we come to realize that, hey, that really wasn't what I wanted. And it's easy. It's easy for us to get into a situation of beating ourselves up, of not having grace with ourselves. Why did you do that? Why couldn't you have just been a writer when they were telling you you had to go to school and be an English teacher, or whatever the case may be? College isn't for everybody. Professional careers aren't for everybody. One of my past clients, Catherine Zinkina, her testimonials over on the website, she talks often in her podcast like she was on her way to medical school. She was doing pre-med when she decided that, you know what, it's not for me. And she began her journey of exploring manifestation. From there, she ended up building her business, and now she has an 8-figure business that is supporting her in her dreams. And she is helping thousands of other people support their dreams every year. Now, the thing that's interesting is she has mentioned on her podcast, and I have also heard this from other past clients, in some cultures. Have you ever found yourself leaning into something that you really want to do? Something that feels purposeful to you, it feels aligned. And as you get started, you begin to notice that you have all of these thoughts that come up that question whether or not you're good enough, you're smart enough, will it work, won't it work? What will people around you think of you? Does that happen to you? It happens for a lot of my clients, even my very successful clients. It's a part of our human experience. But I want you to know you can tame that inner critic and step into your limitless confidence. For a limited time, I'm opening up Catalyst. Catalyst is the perfect opportunity for you to optimize your mind with hypnosis so you can live a peaceful, purposeful, and fulfilled life. So if you're ready to lean into who you truly are and not allow the little ego that we all have to talk you out of the very thing that you want, join Catalyst today. Go to pennychason.com/catalyst. If you are not a doctor, an engineer, an architect, what was the other one, or a lawyer, doctor, engineer, architect, or a lawyer, you are considered a disappointment to the family. Like that is the expectation. That is the definition of success, is that you do one of those things. And if you don't do one of those things, then it's not acceptable. So if being an example of success for your family, if status is important to your family, and you grew up around that your entire life, then that becomes a part of who you are. Thankfully for Catherine, she recognized and she followed her intuition that being a doctor wasn't for her. Because I can't tell you in my career as a healthcare provider how many people I met who became doctors because their parents were doctors or it was expected of them. I actually knew one physician that he was a high school teacher and he loved it. He loved it. But his father always wanted him to be a doctor. So after he had done everything he wanted, he gave in and he went to med school. He absolutely hated being a surgeon, and it came out in everything that he did. You could see it. Like he never said he hated being a doctor, but he made it very clear. He became a doctor to make his dad happy. And this is like some of the worst things that we can do. And I've kind of gotten off track a little bit. But when we go down a path that is not aligned for us, we are creating the feeling of disconnect between ourselves and our soul. Our beliefs, our stories, our habits, the things that we pick up can either bring us closer to our soul connection or they make us less aware of it. And so many people say, I feel disconnected. I feel disconnected. I'm not connected to my soul. You're connected. There's just a lot between you and your awareness because our subconscious mind is a gateway. It is a gateway of awareness to our soul. And I want to be, mindful of how I say that. Our mind is our consciousness. Scientists cannot tell you where the mind actually exists, where our consciousness exists. It is an energy field about us. So the things that we soak up, the things that we absorb, they either increase our awareness of this connection or they become a veil of lack of awareness of our soul. So I want to give you a powerful tool today to help you increase this connection, or rather increase your awareness of this connection. And I have a feeling that your first reaction is going to be, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. We prioritize the things that matter the most to us. So here we go. I want you to pick a day on your calendar. Pick a day on your calendar and block off 4 hours. And here's what you're going to do during that 4 hours. There are going to be no kids, no cell phone, no TV, no music, no journal, and 0 conversation. For that 4 hours, you're going to sit in silence. And while you're sitting in silence that 4 hours, observe what's happening in your mind. Just be the observer. Notice what is going on. And the more that you have going on in your mind is just an indicator of the things that you get to quieten so that you can be more in tune and aware of your own soul connection. Now, you might be asking, okay, so I'm aware that there's a lot of stuff going on in my mind. What next? That's where the journey begins. That's where the journey of peeling the layers begins. That's where the journey of letting go of any fears or frustrations or self-judgments or self-criticisms that come up during that time. Because it took me, the first time I ever did this, it took me 3 attempts before I got through the 4 hours. It took me 3 attempts because something always managed to surprisingly come up that I had to cut it short. So think about that. Allow yourself to be in silence. And I'm sure there may be 1 or 2 of you out there that the very idea of sitting in silence with your own mind and your own emotions is scary. And I get it. I get it. That's why so many people overcommit and they're addicted to busyness because they simply can't, their mind is afraid to sit with itself. And that's where your freedom is learning to be able to sit with yourself, to look at these things, to let them go so that you have that spiritual connection that you've wanted, so that you're tuned in, you're tapped in, and you feel that expansiveness of the more that is in life ready for you, waiting for you. Now, wherever you're listening to this episode, I would love it if you would leave a review. But if this happens to be coming across your Instagram feed or through the email, hit reply and tell me about your experience with 4 hours of silence. I would really love to know what comes up for you and what shifts for you when you dive into this experience. Because if you allow yourself, and it is a choice, if you allow yourself to have this experience, it'll be truly life-changing. I really appreciated having you join me today for this episode of Penny on Your Thoughts. I would really appreciate it if you would take a moment and head over to your favorite podcast platform and leave a positive review about the podcast. It helps me to reach more people, to help them to enlighten, elevate, and expand their lives. Be sure to subscribe to the show if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you back here again next week.